It's seriously mind-boggling how some people walk around thinking they're invincible and can do whatever they want. But oh boy, do they get a reality check when they realize they're not exempt from society's rules. Here are 5 shocking times when people believed they were above the law. Number 5. Retail thief gets banned from Goodwill. A seemingly ordinary day at a local Goodwill store takes a turn for the bizarre. A woman, later identified as Krishna, was reported for spending an unusually long time in the store, much longer than the average shopper. Krishna isn't just trying on clothes, she's layering them up, one over the other.
She's in the dressing rooms right now, kind of slamming things around, and she's layering up, and it seems like she might be on something.
It's a strange sight, and the staff can't help but notice. They start to suspect that she might be under the influence of something. Krishna is not only layering clothes, but also appears to be removing the tags from the items.
It definitely has come up with our stuff on, tags ripped off and kind of lurking, but we've been up front, so she hasn't left done down.
It's a red flag for the staff, and they decide to keep a close eye on her. When the officers arrive, they find Krishna still in the dressing room, engaged in her odd ritual of changing clothes.
Hey there, I need you to come out.
Oh, sorry. What for, sir?
This is the police department. We need to talk to you.
Why?
The officers try to engage with Krishna, asking her to step out of the dressing room. But Krishna is not cooperative. She questions why she needs to come out and insists that she's just getting dressed.
Sir.
This is the police department. We need to talk to you.
Why?
Because we need to talk to you.
For what?
We'll tell you when you come out.
However, the officers observe that she's not really getting dressed at all. Instead, she's walking in circles.
What am I doing wrong exactly again?
Well, you're walking in circles. You're not getting dressed.
Right, yeah, I am getting dressed. I have shirts on.
Okay, you need to
So
come
tell
out.
me what I'm doing and what I'm not doing.
She denies this and insists that she's getting dressed.
You're walking in circles. You're not getting dressed.
I'm absolutely getting dressed. What did I do wrong, officer?
You need to come out. The store doesn't want you here anymore.
Krishna's reluctance to provide her name or answer any questions raises further suspicions.
I don't need to give you that.
Are you here with anyone?
That doesn't matter. I don't need to answer that.
The store staff describe her attire: a blue sweater worn inside out, and a pair of slacks, which are different from what she entered the store with.
And then just a pair of slacks. Her coat and the layers that she had on when she went into her restroom too wasn't what she came in with.
They confirmed that she's been causing a disturbance among the customers.
Or she's causing disturbance with your customers? Yeah. Okay.
Despite the officer's gentle request to come out, Krishna refuses and insists she's done nothing wrong.
Thank you very much, officer. I have not done anything wrong. So, as far as I know, I can keep moving right out of the store as soon as I open the door.
Since she refuses to cooperate, the officers decide to open the door.
Open the door, okay?
For what reason?
Because we need you to come out. We asked you to get dressed. We've given you ample time to get dressed.
Together, and I'll be heading right out the door.
Okay.
And proceed to arrest her.
Touch me. You don't need to come near me.
Okay. I need you to come out here.
I get that, but I'm gonna bring my things.
Nope, I'm
Please
gonna
don't grab me.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna do
Turn
this.
around. Put your hands behind your back.
As the situation escalates, they inform Krishna that she's being taken into custody for retail theft.
A theft right now.
I didn't steal anything.
Okay.
I didn't steal anything. What did I freaking steal?
I got it.
Please show me what I stole.
She denies any wrongdoing, growing increasingly agitated as the officers handcuff her and escort her out of the store.
I
Okay.
did not take anything.
And that's illegal to
I
do
didn't
things
take
like
anything
that to
from- I don't-
merchandise
That has
before
nothing to do with me stealing. I did not walk
before
over
you
to
you pay for something, okay?
Despite their attempts to manage the situation calmly,
I didn't even steal anything. I didn't walk out of the store with anything at all. So how the f did I steal something?
If you want to talk to me about that more.
Krishna's protests persist, and she remains uncooperative. To their surprise, when the officers search her information, they discover that she has no prior records of arrests or outstanding warrants.
There's within a year here.
Okay. Is she on probation?
Nothing.
For
No
real?
wants, no probation.
Meanwhile, the officer gathers all the stuff she attempted to steal from the store. The staff tally the total cost of the items in her possession, which amounts to approximately $540.
An estimated total?
$540.56.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry for you guys.
The decision is made to discard the items due to their condition and Krishna's behavior, rendering them unsellable.
Because of it being like soiled and her trying them on and her odd behavior, and they don't feel comfortable putting it back on the shelf.
Krishna is then taken to the hospital for a medical check before heading to jail. Throughout the journey, her behavior stays erratic.
Got murdered by the fucking Mexicans for robbing their shit all day long and shit.
She continues to sing and talk nonsense for most of the drive. When it's time to get out of the patrol car, she resists.
Yeah, no, we confirmed that.
I'm not getting out of this. I have a lawsuit going with Marshall Clinic. I'm not coming in.
This is where we're going.
Krishna refuses to cooperate with the officers and insists on going to jail rather than the hospital.
What? Bring a nurse out here right
Krishna,
now.
we want
I don't
you.
give a the law's still the law. I don't need to come in here because
You
I'm
need to cooperate with us.
I don't
okay?
need to do shit. Take me to the mother.
She yells and makes accusations against the officers, refusing to leave the vehicle.
Don't.
Bitch, don't tell me what to do. You disrespect me, you touch me without my permission. Don't tell me
I need you to get
I
out of the
don't
car.
need to do
The officers ask her nicely to step out, but she won't budge.
No, I don't give
Yeah,
a
go
they
in
did.
there.
Last time I was here, they came out here.
No.
Yes, they did. Don't pull me.
Okay.
I'm not
come
getting
out.
here.
Then come out.
No, hell no, I ain't. Why the do I need to listen to you?
Eventually, they have to physically remove her from the car.
Oh, please do. Was cracking. I heard the whole door. Hey, Mom!
Inside the hospital, Krishna's demeanor alternates between anger and nonsensical ramblings.
Hey, you need to quiet down right now. So they're gonna be aggressive.
There's sick people here. Do you understand that?
Indicating someone who's either deeply troubled or under the influence.
Still violating mother. Whether you
Go ahead and sit on the bed.
Thank you. You don't gotta tell me how I need to sit. Cause you ain't God, are you? Are you God? You need to tell me my business.
Her outbursts are loud and disruptive, attracting the attention of everyone nearby. The hospital staff does their best to handle the situation, but Krishna's behavior poses a significant challenge. They attempt to calm her down and explain the procedures, but Krishna is unresponsive to their efforts.
Krishna, would you like me to explain it to you? I'd like to explain my actions.
That's how that Marshall plays.
Her accusations range from personal violations to outright insults, making the situation increasingly tense. Krishna's behavior doesn't get any better as they escort her back to the patrol car.
Worried about my concern and health and well-being? Don't act like you are. Don't act like you are, though. Please don't act like you're concerned about anything. So that's why you gotta get frisky.
Later on, they found Krishna guilty of disorderly conduct after she went with a no-contest plea. She got slapped with a 30-day stint in jail and was banned from any Goodwill store for a whole year. Number 4. Congressional candidate claims immunity in traffic stop incident. In the sun-drenched streets of Sarasota, a routine traffic stop unfolds. But this is no ordinary incident. The Sarasota Police Department officer pulls over a driver for speeding at 57 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone and texting while driving. The driver, later identified as Martin Hyde, is a prominent figure in the community, known for his influence and long-standing residence. As the officer approaches the vehicle, she's met with a defensive stance from Hyde. The officer, adhering to protocol, explains the reason for the stop.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sir? Officer Baskin, Sarasota Police Department. You're on audio and video recording. The reason for the stop: you were observed going 57 and a 40, and you were on your phone texting while you.
Hyde, seemingly taken aback, misinterprets the officer's gesture as pointing at him.
Fruit bowl.
You don't need to point at me, officer.
I'm not pointing at you. I'm pointing in the direction where it was.
I'll just call the chief, how's that?
The situation escalates when the officer requests Hyde's license, registration, and insurance.
Go ahead, sir. Can I see
know
your
who I
license?
am, right?
Yes, sir, I do. Can I see your license, registration, insurance, please?
You can do this?
Yes, sir.
Hyde, instead of complying, questions the officer's actions. His reluctance to provide the requested documents leads to a back and forth about producing the registration.
You're not gonna give me your registration, sir.
You can arrest me.
I'm asking you if you're gonna produce me with your registration. You don't have it on you?
This exchange marks the beginning of a power struggle, where Hyde's demeanor suggests a belief in his own exemption from standard procedures.
To produce your registration. I'm asking you if you have your registration.
You're making career decisions.
Okay, sir.
Doing this?
Sir, because you were speeding.
Hyde then makes a phone call, presumably to a higher authority, suggesting that the officer is jeopardizing his career by this stop.
Call the supervisor. I just spoke to your boss.
Okay.
That's not okay.
You want your paperwork?
He expresses disbelief at being stopped for such violations, and his tone implies a sense of injustice. Hyde requests a supervisor, indicating his dissatisfaction with the officer's handling of the situation.
Supervisor.
14 dispatch, can you have my supervisor respond, please?
Yeah. And then we'll see who goes.
You don't want your paperwork?
Despite Hyde's protests, the officer proceeds to issue citations for the violations.
Sir, you're going to be
I'm
issued
not
a
interested in
citation.
Anything you have to say. I'll wait for the supervisor.
You can wait for the supervisor, but I'm going to go through what I need to go through.
No, I'm not interested.
You are going to be issued a citation.
She calmly walks Hyde through the fines and offers up the idea of a safe driver's course that might help reduce the penalties.
You're going to be issued a citation 57 and a 40 for speeding. Your fine is 256. Information in the back. You're going to have an option to plead guilty, an option to plead not guilty, and an option to take a safe driver's course.
It's a pretty important moment because it shows that the officer is just doing her duty, no matter who Hyde is or what kind of influence he has.
Apply for the course, it will reduce your fine, and it will reduce your points. If you decide to go ahead and do that, just make sure you do it prior to submission of payment.
You know what he said?
Hyde's frustration escalates as he continues to express his discontent.
And that's fine.
It's not fine. Why do you keep saying it's fine?
Sir?
I'm a law-abiding citizen, and you're being bloody rude.
He goes as far as recording the whole interaction on his phone, trying to use it as a threat against the officer.
You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving. Okay? You are going to be issued a citation for texting and driving. Your fine is $160.
But the officer does not back down, and she goes on with her citation, even in the face of the politician's threats.
You are not guilty.
You're lying.
Green paper.
You're
Green
lying.
paper tells you
Why
you
are
have
you
30
lying?
days to.
Hyde even accuses the officer of lying.
You're
Green
lying.
paper tells you
Why
you
are
have
you
30
lying?
days to reply.
Why are you lying?
You have 30 days
Why
to
are you
reply.
lying?
Your payment options are on the green form.
Here's a simple question. Why are you lying?
Phone number.
Things get so heated that he decides to step out of his car, which prompts the officer to call for backup.
Sir, stand over there. It's for my safety and for your safety. Sir? 10-4, the driver being extremely uncooperative.
The officer doesn't waste any time, and she reports the whole incident to her sergeant.
Speeding 57 and a 40, texting while driving, and failure to produce his registration because he told me I could look it up. And he's gonna have my job.
Meanwhile, Hyde continues to question the officer's conduct.
Because I have a job to do, sir. Nobody's above the law.
No one's above the law. You have to have some degree of respect for law-abiding.
That degree of respect started the moment I...
He takes it a step further, and even throws out a threat about her job.
I'll fight the citation. I'll
Okay.
fight your employment.
Okay.
Hyde's assertion reveals a deeper sense of entitlement, as he mentions his status in the community.
More than... You know, you're an influential person.
Very.
You can go ahead and do that.
Yes, I can.
He even goes as far as demanding an apology from the officer.
Why not just say you're sorry?
Because I did nothing wrong, sir. I was doing my job, but I am going to ask you either to sit in your car or step on the sidewalk because I don't want either one of us get
Another officer shows up on the scene.
speeding 57 and a 40, texting while driving, failure to produce his registration when I asked. He told me I could look it up.
Okay. You know who?
Hyde takes the opportunity to share his side of the story.
She requested another unit, so that's what
You
another
give
unit.
someone a ticket for no registration when they've got their registration.
He accuses the officer of misconduct, claiming he had the registration and that she's unfairly targeting him.
Well, this one is the expired one, but
Well, it doesn't make it. It'll take 2
Yeah.
seconds.
yeah.
We're going to make sure that she pays the price for being disrespectful.
Hyde portrays himself as a law-abiding citizen who's been treated unfairly, painting a picture of himself as the victim.
I just wanted you to witness it, know that the registration was right there, and she deliberately chose to write the ticket. She came up, she said, the first... Look, there's a video of it, so be quiet.
He also mentions his connections in law enforcement and believes he deserves special treatment.
I've lived here for 25 years. I've represented your unit. I've got no interest in listening to you, young lady.
I was talking to my sergeant. Sergeant, if you don't mind if we could step over off the road onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, just a second.
Hyde expresses his disappointment and requests to be treated respectfully.
With
Yes, sir.
everybody in the police department, this is the first time anybody has been disrespectful to me. And for what reason?
The officer tries to calm Mr. Hyde's accusations directed at the female officer, but it doesn't seem to work.
And see.
Well, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
She's got it in her head. I know exactly who she is. Frangione told me exactly who she is. That's fine. 7 years might not turn into 8.
As he listens to Hyde's complaints, it becomes clear that Hyde is taking this situation quite personally, rather than seeing it as a consequence of his actions. He's alleging that the officer deliberately targeted him, despite the clear evidence of his speeding and texting while driving. Finally, the supervisor arrives at the scene.
Yeah, I have to leave it on.
All right, so here's the thing. She lied about the cell phone thing. Okay. She lied about...
Hyde explains his side of the story.
She lied about the cell phone thing.
Okay.
She lied about I don't know, the speed. I could care less. You can give me the ticket all day long. I could care less about that.
He doesn't hold back and shares his disappointment about his interaction with the officer.
And the thing is, I appreciate that. I back you guys left, right, and center.
I understand that. I do. I trust me. I do know that.
Hyde continues to see himself as the victim of the situation.
You treat people. That's unacceptable.
I understand. I understand your frustration.
And I can get the video and I can play it to the mayor. I understand that, but you know...
He's trying to come up with excuses, but the supervisor recognizes the female officer's role.
Because I said to her, I said, yeah, right away, I said, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I know. Straight away, writing the tickets. Why?
Well, she's a traffic officer.
Yeah,
that's what we do. But I understand.
The supervisor acknowledges Hyde's concerns, but lets him know that a fair judgment will be made.
She has a job to do. I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna look at the video. I understand your concerns. I'm gonna look at the video. I notified everybody in the chain of command right now. That's
Hyde keeps on hammering the point that the officer had no business giving him a ticket.
Nobody in their right mind would give a ticket for that to me. Nobody.
He goes as far as accusing her of being on a power trip.
I understand what you're saying, and you producing it, she probably should have taken that ticket away, but I'm going to find out what exactly occurred.
Because she had a bee in her bonnet because she thought she was on a big power trip.
It's kind of funny considering the situation, isn't it? I mean, isn't it the other way around, sir? The supervisor, though, remains pretty chill, despite Hyde's threats and accusations.
7 years. She ain't going to make 8. I'll make sure.
Well, I'll get going on.
She ain't.
All right, listen.
Isn't it just unbelievable how Hyde, at this point, still thinks he did nothing wrong?
I'm going to get
This
started.
is not right, Andy.
Okay, I understand.
Right. You don't treat people that have treated and supported you like that.
I understand where you're coming from.
And nope, he's not even close to finishing his tirade against the officer.
Minimum of respect is yes sir, no sir. Not a word of it. Straight off. Talking to me like I'm a piece of get back in your car, which is this. She's standing, she's got a car door open.
He just keeps on hurling insults and seems completely oblivious to what he actually did wrong.
And I'm leaning against here talking to someone. Okay? So, in case you get hit by traffic. Just being difficult. Okay? Just being cocky.
Hyde's in total disbelief that he got treated this way by the officer, even though she knows who he is.
To me and say, you're doing 57. Give us your license and your registration. Why get into immediately like that when she knew exactly who she was talking to?
The body cam video doesn't provide information on the subsequent events or whether the candidate faced charges. However, Hyde did issue a public apology afterward. It's difficult to determine the sincerity of the apology. Do you think it genuinely expressed remorse? Or was it more of an attempt to restore his public image? Number 3. Intoxicated woman flips car. Insists she's sober. In a peaceful residential area, a sudden and loud crash echoed through the quiet streets. Startled by the noise, residents rushed to their windows to see what had happened. There, on the pavement, lay an overturned car, its awkward position creating an unexpected disruption.
Whose car is this?
That's my grandson's, and it was parked right here. He hasn't went anywhere all day. And
Is everybody okay?
yeah.
Rachel, the driver, is immediately the center of attention.
Hello. Looks like you might have crashed your car, huh?
Oh my gosh. Hi. Yeah, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you.
Rachel, Eli, nice.
The car is a twisted mass of metal that tells the story of a journey gone terribly wrong. Rachel admits to driving the car, but is unclear about how the accident occurred.
Nice to meet you. What's going on? How'd this happen?
I don't know.
You're not sure?
Yeah,
It's your car?
this is my vehicle.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
Well, how did it end up on it?
Oh, and there's a child seat in the car, but Rachel swears there weren't any kids with her.
Good. Kid's seat. There wasn't a kid in here when this happened,
No,
was there? Okay.
no children in here. Obviously, this didn't just happen by itself.
Right.
So that,
Were you
The cops trying to put the puzzle pieces together, figuring out how the car turned into a total wreck.
do you,
Go ahead,
do you
just need the
always
one
ask
for
redundant
Adam Torres
questions, or you just ask questions?
I just ask questions. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, that's all.
Yeah,
It's
I mean-
Rachel, right?
But Rachel? Well, she's not exactly an open book. Her responses are dodgy, and there's a hint of sarcasm in her voice, though her nerves are showing.
Were you driving this way?
Yeah, obviously. That's the way the vehicle's facing.
Why do you
So,
keep saying obviously?
well, I mean, I think
She keeps tossing around the word obviously, like it's supposed to clear everything up.
I'm just
with
trying to...
this scene is pretty obvious, so
Okay.
I don't think there's much left to.
What, how,
But nothing about this scene is obvious. Rachel denies seeing another car and insists she was driving in her lane.
There was a car driving this way. I was clearly driving in my lane.
okay.
The officer asks where she was coming from and where she was headed.
Where are you coming from tonight, Rachel?
I was coming from my friend's house on the south of town.
On south of town?
South.
She mentions being on her way to a friend's house and a stop at a tavern named Hobbsy's.
But we had stopped to pick up a friend at Hobbsy's.
Where is that?
Hobbsy's
But the details are murky, her memory seemingly clouded.
tavern on this side of town, but I don't know their exact address. I'm not
Okay.
super
Was there
familiar
anyone in the
with it.
vehicle with you when this
No,
happened?
there was nobody with.
When asked if she's had anything to drink, she becomes defensive.
Incriminate you any further?
Rachel initially denies drinking, then admits to a single beer cocktail earlier in the evening.
Like,
What did you have at 6?
I had what we considered a beer cocktail,
When asked for more details about the drink, her response is a bit vague.
I guess.
How much alcohol would you say is in that?
It's a 4%. 4%.
And you just had one of them?
Yeah, it's just.
She explains that she was coming from a fantasy football draft event.
We were at a fantasy football draft tonight.
That
so.
explains the jersey. You a Cowboy?
Yeah,
Are
that's
you a
why I'm in
Cowboys
New
fan?
Jersey. Yeah, I'm
You
a
are?
Cowboys fan.
All right.
But
The officer asks if she sustained any injuries during the accident.
First and foremost, I guess I should have asked this a little bit ago. Are you injured at all?
no, you probably should
noticed
have
some-
asked that right away, right?
Yeah, you're right. I should have, but
Yeah.
I forgot. I mean, you were walking, so I...
Suddenly, Rachel decides she won't answer any more questions.
So here's the deal, Rachel.
So here's the deal. I
just-
won't answer any more of your questions.
You're not going to answer any more of my questions?
No.
And claims the officer is overstepping his boundaries.
Know what's going on from now, because you've superseded your
know what you
rights
mean.
of asking me questions.
Another officer arrives, and Rachel becomes defensive, insisting on speaking to her attorney.
You can talk to my attorney. He knows my name.
Is it Rachel?
I won't be answering any more of your questions. I think I've made that very.
When asked why she needs an attorney, this is her reply.
Why do you think you need an attorney right now?
I think in general, any citizen that encounters a law enforcement officer outside of.
Despite her continued chatter about her attorney saving the day, her slurred speech and unsteady movements tell a different story.
circumstance should just refer that to an attorney.
Okay. So any interaction with a
so
law
I
enforcement
don't
officer?
think
Surprisingly, when the officer asks her a question, she responds.
any interaction you and I have beyond what him and I
Where
have.
have you been drinking tonight, Rachel?
I haven't been drinking tonight.
I can smell the alcohol from you.
The smell of alcohol hangs in the air, a silent but potent witness to the night's events. The officers, trained to notice such details, question Rachel further.
Well, I guess you can smell the alcohol from me, but I haven't been drinking, so.
Okay, why am I smelling alcohol from you?
Despite her earlier admission, Rachel now firmly denies any wrongdoing.
Is there a reason why I'm smelling alcohol right now? It doesn't come from nowhere. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Makes total sense, yeah.
Her refusal to perform field sobriety tests or a preliminary breath test only adds to the growing tension.
Are you willing to perform any field tests for us tonight?
No, I would not be willing to perform
You
that.
willing to do a PBT for us tonight?
No.
Okay, you're going to be under arrest for OWI.
The decision to arrest Rachel is made. The charge? Operating while intoxicated. After Rachel is handcuffed and escorted into the police car, the officers quietly acknowledge the strong scent of alcohol they detected.
I mean, I have very strong mint gum in my mouth, and I have a terrible nose, and her breath reeks, dude.
Yeah.
So bad.
How fast she was going, man.
They both express their surprise at the speed and impact of the accident.
I was not expecting
I
that.
know. I pulled up and almost started laughing.
Yeah.
I'll ask her if she wants anything from the car.
Do it. I already asked her.
You did. Okay.
The scene shifts to the officers discussing the situation with bystanders.
Kind of makes it a lot easier when they don't cooperate with us.
Oh no.
So,
I didn't know what was going on. Kind of scared me when it.
They express their shock and provide more details about the incident.
I heard it.
Cody, get upstairs! I'm hitting your car. I'm like, what?
yeah. So where was it parked?
Literally parked right in between these two trees here.
So it launched at like 20 feet, huh?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The officer talks about the crash report and what the owner of the other vehicle involved will have to do next.
So, all right, I'll get you that crash card, and then if you probably want to move the vehicle.
I could try.
I would.
They take a closer look at the accident scene and can't help but be surprised that the car isn't more beat up.
Because to be able to flip a car on its side,
Yeah.
you would think there would be a lot more damage than that.
Right.
So,
Meanwhile, inside the police car, Rachel questions the officer's actions.
What am I under arrest for?
Operating while under the influence of alcohol.
And is that assumptive or assured?
And accuses them of not following protocol.
You never read me my Miranda rights or told me what I was under the arrest for. So I was looking for some clarification.
She's going on and on like a broken record.
But you didn't read me my Miranda rights, and you also didn't tell me what I was under arrest for. Do you remember that?
The officer asks if Rachel will agree to a blood chemical test, but she declines.
I don't agree to any of that until I speak to a lawyer. Thank you.
So you're refusing?
I am refusing. Thank you.
All right.
The officer gives her two options. Either they release her to a sober, responsible person, or she heads straight to jail. When they ask about who can pick her up, she mentions her husband is in Nebraska.
My husband lives in Nebraska. Like, he's in Nebraska. My husband is in Nebraska.
With no one available to take her home, it looks like she's headed for jail. Can you believe the nerve of this woman? She turns a quiet neighborhood into a crash site, flips her car, and then tries to play it cool like she's as sober as a judge. Come on, Rachel. Who do you think you're fooling? How many drinks did it take for you to believe your own fairy tale? In the end, Rachel got herself arrested and hit with an OWI charge. But that's not all. She's also got citations for failing to keep control, swerving around, and not having proof of insurance. Quite a night, huh? Number 2. Employee breaks down after being told no. A woman finds herself in a heated dispute with her employer over unpaid wages. The situation unfolds on June 10, 2022. capturing a scenario where the lines between right, wrong, and legal boundaries blur. The woman, employed at a facility where questionable payroll practices are hinted at, claims she hasn't been paid for 3 weeks.
Employees get paid under the table. I don't think they're even legal. But she's basically telling me I can't get paid, but all these other women can get paid.
She alleges that other employees, potentially working illegally, are being paid under the table, raising questions about the employer's practices. However, the employer presents a different side. According to them, the woman hasn't fulfilled her part of the employment contract.
She needs to fill out the application, right? W-2, I-9, all the paperwork, I gave it to her. She didn't fill out anything.
The central paperwork remains unsubmitted despite the employer's repeated reminders.
And we've been bugging her, bring your stuff. I had to put her on the payroll. So today's a payday. I cannot pay her without this. So she need to understand.
These documents are crucial for legal payroll processing, and their absence puts the employer in a bind.
She didn't bring it this, and she's threatening us. I need to pay right now. I need to pay. I said, okay, you fill it out. I had to pay you next week because you didn't bring up all this stuff.
It's payday, and the employer is legally unable to process her payment without the necessary paperwork.
So this is why she called you, because she can't get paid. So she's not gonna able to pay.
Do you have another copy of everything that she needs?
I gave it to her. I gave it a second time today.
Okay.
She claims she's been bugging them for weeks to get these forms, but the employee still hasn't come through.
Again, I gave it to her.
Okay.
So this is, I gave it to her 2 weeks ago. She didn't bring it. My housekeeping supervisor is bugging her to bring it. Oh, I'll bring it tomorrow. I'll bring it tomorrow. Today's a payday.
The employer's stance is clear. No paperwork, no paycheck.
She come here and threatening, I need to pay right now. How I'm going to pay her without these papers?
Right.
The woman's agitation escalates as the officer confronts her and explains the situation.
So apparently you have some documents that need to be filled out before you get paid, which you have
but
not
what
filled
about,
out. Listen to me, okay?
Listen to me.
No, you listen to me.
You listen to me.
She insists on her right to be paid, regardless of the missing paperwork. Her frustration is evident, but so is her lack of understanding of the legal requirements for employment and payroll. The employee becomes agitated, refusing to listen and threatening to contact the labor board.
No. Okay, I'll just call the labor board and they can
Call
come.
the labor board.
And I'll
It's a
call
civil
another
issue.
officer and they can come up here.
They
They
will not
hired
come up
me.
here.
They
Okay.
hired me without doing the documents. I've never worked anywhere.
She keeps making accusations against the employer, and it doesn't seem to faze her at all when the officer mentions the possibility of getting arrested.
Can you bring the manager out
Before
here?
I get hired, that shit should have been done before I started working here.
Keep it up and you'll be in handcuffs.
No, I won't.
Oh, yes, you will.
The officer gives her a serious warning.
I'm going to tell you one more time.
No, tell
You
them to
start
pay me.
yelling and using profanity.
I'll just
in front
call
of all
somebody
these
else.
people.
I'll call. This is everybody
Okay,
that I
you're
work
gonna
with.
go
There's
to jail,
no guest.
okay?
Which seems to annoy her even more. She even says she'll reach out to someone else for help.
I'll just call somebody else because you're clearly no help.
The situation takes a turn when the employer decides to trespass her from the property.
So she's no longer an employee of yours, is that correct?
We want to trespass her.
You want to trespass her?
Please.
Okay. Stay right there.
This decision is not taken lightly, but the woman's refusal to comply with the employer's requests and her confrontational attitude leaves them with no choice.
Ma'am,
Best Western Tiki on. In
you
the,
have been
in the
trespassed.
beach shorts.
Leave the property or you will go to jail. Okay?
Yes, and he's not helping me at all.
In an attempt to find support, she calls another officer, but the deputy on the scene puts a stop to it.
And for the complainant's calling back requesting a second officer, you can disregard that call. Do not send another officer.
She's informed of the trespassing, but she doesn't take it well.
Ma'am, you've been trespassed.
I
you
need to go get my the
You
damn
leave.
place. No,
Okay.
I need to go get my stuff out of there.
Where is
So, it's on my floor with my cart.
She demands to retrieve her belongings, expressing distrust towards the employer and insists on doing it herself.
Okay, well, you can wait here
No,
and they can
I
get
will go grab it.
No,
No,
you're
I don't
not
trust
going.
them grabbing my because they already robbed me out of 3 weeks
You're
of
going back
pay.
in that
All right,
establishment.
then I'll wait for another officer to come.
As the confrontation continues, the woman's behavior becomes more erratic.
I've been working here and I haven't got paid for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I'm about to lose everything I have because of these fucking pieces of shit.
Even when her things are returned to her, she continues being resistant.
I should give it to her.
This is it?
Yeah, that's what Lisa said.
Okay.
3 weeks of pay.
She refuses to leave the property, defying the trespassing notice and the law enforcement officer's instructions.
Leave.
No, I'm waiting on the other officer.
You are leaving.
I am waiting on the other officer.
Ma'am.
No.
Her actions are a clear challenge to the authority and legal boundaries set before her. The situation escalates to a point of no return when the woman is arrested for her refusal to comply and leave the property.
Not my wallet, my keys, and my
Absolutely
phone.
not.
Y'all all finna look stupid as hell. I'm
During the arrest, the woman's emotions run high.
stupid as hell because they didn't pay me. I'm getting arrested because they didn't pay me.
Well, you're going to jail, I can tell you that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take all you motherfuckers to court. Watch that.
Her actions are not just a defiance of her employer, but a blatant disregard for legal authority and procedures.
I can't imagine why they didn't want to keep you around.
Because they didn't pay me.
Yeah.
I didn't do shit to them. I'm their best worker while they're running this illegal operation.
Sure.
It's gonna go down.
She's then led over to the police car.
No, I'm not stepping there. Come on, then step all the way up.
The fallout from this showdown is just as serious as the confrontation itself. The woman faces a heap of charges, including felony battery on a law enforcement officer. That's a pretty weighty accusation and shows just how serious her actions were. But here's the twist. She ends up pleading no contest to a lesser charge of resisting without violence and gets slapped with a 12-month probation. Now, when it comes to pointing fingers, it's a bit of a gray area. Some might say the employer should have made sure all those forms were sorted before letting her work. Others might argue that the woman went way over the line by trespassing and getting the law involved. It's a tough call. What do you think? Number 1. A very drunk man insists he's sober during traffic stop. On January 3, 2022, a police officer pulls over a car for speeding. The driver has no idea he's going too fast, thinking he's cruising at a calm 40 miles per hour. But surprise, surprise, the officer's radar says it's a whopping 55 miles per hour.
Stop digging around. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Where are you coming from tonight?
Englewood Beach.
Englewood Beach. Do you know the speed limit coming off Englewood Beach?
He's genuinely shocked upon the officer's revelation.
35. How fast do you think you were coming over the bridge?
I would assume 40.
55 on a radar, on a calibrated radar. And then I had to punch it to catch up to you here because you gunned it.
The driver, who recently moved from Wisconsin to Florida, admits he hasn't registered his license in Florida yet.
Give me your license, your registration, your proof of insurance.
Okay. So I just moved here 4 months ago.
4 months ago? Where from?
Wisconsin.
Despite being in the state for about 5.5 months, he hasn't updated his vehicle registration, the task that should be completed within 30 days of moving to Florida.
Yes, yes, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll work with you, okay?
So here's my license.
The Florida. Oh, so you do have a Florida driver's license. You just have a registered.
Yes, sir.
The officer, while noting this, decides not to push the issue.
Yes, yes, sir. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll work with you, okay?
The driver admits he has a Florida driver's license, but hasn't gotten around to registering his vehicle. He explains he bought the car just 2 months before moving and hasn't gotten Florida plates yet.
Okay.
So here's my license.
The Florida. Oh, so you do have a Florida driver's license. You just have a registered.
Yes, sir.
You have
Yes,
a
sir.
registered vehicle.
So I bought this entire car 2 months before I moved here.
When asked for the registration, he confesses he doesn't have it and got pulled over recently for the same issue.
Yes.
They give you some
So I don't have that. I got pulled over like a week and a half ago because I just moved here and I didn't have the registration yet.
Okay.
He tries to find his insurance on his phone, but can't locate it.
I do. Yeah.
If it's easier for you, you can pull it up on the phone.
Where did I put my phone?
Where is your phone?
Following that, the officer asks the driver to step out of the vehicle. The driver does as asked, but seems a bit on edge, mentioning that he's lost his phone somewhere in the car.
Step out of the vehicle for me, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys made me nervous. I lost my phone.
Nothing to be nervous about, man. It's still in the car, okay?
Can I turn my car off?
Yeah, please. No, it's already off. You already turned it off.
The officer tries to put him at ease and then asks about his alcohol consumption. The driver comes clean, saying he's had 6 drinks since 8 p.m.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
6 drinks.
6 drinks?
6 drinks.
Okay.
But since
How long? Over how long?
8 p.m.
And adds that he'd been chatting with a girl he met on Instagram.
I met a girl on Instagram, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
The officer lets the driver know that he'll get a warning for speeding, but mentions he needs to do a standardized field sobriety test just to make sure it's all good for him to keep driving.
I'll give you a warning for the speed. I'm not worried about your speed, okay?
Yeah.
I want to
Sir.
make sure you're able to get in your car and drive home from this place.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And the way that we do that is through standardized field sobriety tests.
Yes, sir.
The driver, who's familiar with the drill, says he's cool with it and agrees to participate.
That shows you.
I've done 2.
You've done 2?
I've done 2. I'm from Wisconsin.
Okay, I got you. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve tonight, okay? I want to make sure you're able to get in your car and drive home from this place,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
The sobriety test begins with an eye test, where the driver is instructed to follow the movement of the officer's finger with his eyes.
Can you see the red tip of my finger right here?
Yes, sir, I can.
The red tip of my finger right here?
Yes, sir, I can.
You're going to follow with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? It's going to start going back or side to side, but it's going to follow with our eyes.
However, the driver struggles big time. He's not moving his head or his eyes as he should.
Right.
You see how it's moving?
Yes, sir, I am.
Follow it with your
Right,
eyes.
center, right.
See how it's moving left and left?
I'm listening, sir, right.
Do you understand?
Center, down.
Even after a bunch of tries and some extra explanations from the officer, the driver just can't get it right.
Okay.
Following. Right.
Okay.
Down.
You look straight at me. Is there a reason why you're doing that? Do you not want to participate in this?
I look straight at you.
You gotta hand it to the officer for keeping a straight face. I mean, it's hard not to burst out laughing at this point, right?
Like that.
I'm relaxed.
Okay.
Yes,
We're gonna
sir.
follow with our eyes and our eyes only, okay?
Yes, sir. I see the light to my left. I'm going to follow the red to my right. Yes, sir. Red center, red left.
The driver's narration of the officer's movements is a bit puzzling, as it wasn't part of the instructions.
I think you meant right, but okay, so there's still
See
the
how,
right.
see how it moved? We want it to keep following the red.
You want me to follow the red light? I'm following. Ready?
At this point, it seems like the officer might be silently amused, just letting the driver continue.
Red to the left with the white. So following the white or the red, red to the left. Red is going towards the right, to the far right.
Realizing the eye test isn't getting anywhere, the officer decides to move on to the next part of the test.
Red is going towards the white, towards the white.
We're not following with our eyes anymore, sir. We're gonna move on, okay?
We're not following to the right.
The driver, wearing moccasins, is given the option to take them off.
Are you comfortable with your shoes? I see you wearing moccasins.
I mean, they're not the best, but
If
it'll do.
if you'd like to take them off, go right ahead, okay? It's up to you. It's a nice clean parking lot. I don't see any rocks. I don't see any glass. I don't see anything that'd be a hazard.
And he decides he's more comfy without them.
Yeah, I think I'll do without.
Okay.
All right.
So this is our line. We're going to use this, okay? When I instruct you to begin, we're going to keep our arms on our side too. We're not going to be not airplane, okay?
But he's having a tough time following the instructions, wobbling and struggling with each step.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He takes more steps than instructed and turns incorrectly.
9. 10. 11.
Honestly, at this point, it's a bit confusing. Is he walking on the ground or trying out for a tightrope act?
5. 6.
'He decides to press on and doesn't want to give up, even though he's miserably failing each step.
Are you done?
Not yet. 7. 8.
You gotta admire his never say die attitude, right?
You can put your shoes back on.
I'm not done.
I'm
not done.
I thought you were done. Excuse me.
No, sir, I'm not done. What do you want from me? I'm not done.
Since the guy is so persistent, the officer just decides to let him continue.
I'm not done yet.
You let me know when you're done.
Okay? My feet are there, right?
Well, the end of the line's there.
Realizing that he might be in hot water, the man starts sharing that he's a software developer and recently went through a breakup, as if trying to get sympathy or understanding.
I'm A software developer? What do you want from me, man? I broke with my goddamn girlfriend.
Sorry to hear that.
The officer proceeds to the one-leg stand test.
For the next one, it's called the one-leg stand. Would you like to try it?
Sir?
The one-leg stand, would you like to try it?
I've done it all. Trust me, I'm from Wisconsin.
The driver decides to go barefoot for this one.
I would like to do barefoot.
Kick him off right there.
Right here. God damn, man. It's so salty and cold. What do you want?
He has a hard time keeping his balance.
1001. 1002. 1003. 1004.
Straighten out our leg and point out towards the horizon like I showed.
1005.
And counting as instructed.
11,001. 11,014, eh? 12,000. 13,000.
You can stop.
Next up, the officer does the finger-to-nose test.
Gonna make 2 pointer fingers for me, right here. Okay? Bring them back down to your side. Okay? When I instruct you to, you're gonna close your eyes and tilt your head back. Okay? For now, you don't have to do it. Just watch me. Okay?
Okay.
So you're gonna close your eyes and tilt your head back. Okay?
And once again, the driver can't quite get the instructions right.
Left. Left arm. Left nose. My left nose.
You can bring your hand down.
Yes, sir. Down.
During the test, the driver's speech is slurred, and he seems confused and unsteady.
Right arm right here. Up. Itchy. On my nose.
You can bring your hand down.
Yes.
He's in his own little world, making up and following his own rules.
Itchy again. Right pointer finger on my nose.
You can bring your hand down.
Yes, sir.
The officer double checks with him about how many drinks he's had and asks if he's really confident about driving in his current state.
Yeah. A little less, actually.
Less? Okay. Do you feel comfortable, like you're able to operate a motor vehicle?
Yes, sir.
No problems.
Then, he breaks the news that he's being arrested for DUI.
We're bringing our hands to the center of our back. Hands behind your back.
Where do you want me to face?
There you go. Put your hands together.
Yes, sir.
You're being placed under arrest tonight for DUI.
The driver genuinely seems taken aback by this unexpected turn of events.
Appreciate your cooperation. You're doing just fine.
Really? I'm arrested?
Yeah, you got a DUI tonight.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
He resists, and even says he loves the police.
I love them.
That's your freebie.
Guys, I love police.
Do you have anything on you shouldn't have?
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I just, hey.
As they escort him into the police car, he attempts to negotiate with the officers and vents his frustration about his situation.
Can I talk to you guys for 10
I'll
minutes?
talk to you. Once you sit down.
Not even.
Take a seat.
5 minutes. Listen, holy
Sit back in the car.
serious.
Slide backwards.
Guys.
The driver keeps insisting he's a supporter of law enforcement, and it appears he's surprised that this support isn't keeping him from getting arrested.
Serious? Hey.
What do you want to talk about?
I'm talking to you too.
You're talking to me.
No,
I'm in charge
for
here.
real.
I'm in charge
I
here.
backed the blue.
Okay, I appreciate
I really
that.
do.
But that doesn't mean you can drink and drive.
The driver's agitation continues to grow as he struggles against his restraints and the reality of his arrest. He repeatedly bangs his head against the patrol car, prompting the officers to warn him about further restraining measures.
Please.
Do not do that again or I'm going to hobble you. Do you understand me?
What do you mean hobble me?
Do not punch your head against the
What are you
cage.
going to do? Throw me in jail?
Yeah, we're going to jail.
Despite his pleas and outbursts, the officers remain firm in their decision to arrest him for DUI. As things heat up, the driver starts acting even more strangely. He's practically begging the officers to cut him loose, claiming he has to go get his girlfriend, who's an elementary school teacher.
Girlfriend? Who's that? Elementary teacher? Right home.
Where is she?
In Fort Myers at 10:30, bro.
He's super worried about her job and all, but let's be real, there's not much he can do for her in that state.
She needs someone to pick her up. I live with her, dude. Sir, please pick her up.
Inside the patrol car, the driver just can't seem to keep it together.
Hey, let me go, bro. Let me show you what's up. That's what I thought. He ain't gonna let me go.
And it's like he can't quite wrap his head around how deep the trouble he's in really is.
Hey! Save me!
Are you gonna calm down a little bit?
In addition to the DUI, He also got hit with a resisting without violence charge, and when he took the breathalyzer test, it came back at a whopping .248. That's definitely not a good combination. And that's a wrap for today's video. I can't stop chuckling at the one dude who gave it his all to look sober but ended up failing every sobriety test. Did that story have you rolling on the floor too? Or is there another crazy case that's stuck in your brain rent-free? Feel free to share your thoughts down in the comments. Also, check out our other stuff showing up on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See you next time.